There are places we should never approach, voices we should never listen to, and secrets buried in the darkness that we should never uncover. But curiosity always leads us beyond the unknown. Tonight, we embark on a journey into the world of horror where reality and fiction blur and fear becomes more real than you can imagine. Get ready, turn off the lights, because you are about to step into the dark side. It all started innocently enough, a late-night scroll through Reddit, a casual click on an intriguing thread titled "The Internet's Darkest Mysteries." Jacob had no idea that one seemingly harmless click would send him spiraling into an abyss he couldn't climb out of. The first story in the thread was about a website called the Smile Program. Supposedly, it was an old government experiment from the 1980s, aimed at manipulating human emotions through subliminal visuals and sounds. Users claimed that visiting the site would cause feelings of extreme euphoria or despair. Jacob, always skeptical of online legends, decided to dig deeper. A quick Google search didn't yield much, so he turned to the darker corners of the internet. Using a Tor browser, Jacob found a forum where users shared links to obscure sites. One post, with the cryptic title "Smiles That Kill," contained what seemed to be a URL. Against his better judgment, he clicked it. The site was bare bones, a black screen with a single line of text in the center that read, "Are you ready to smile?" Below it was a button labeled "Enter." Jacob hesitated, but eventually clicked. The screen flashed white, then showed a series of grainy, distorted images, people laughing, crying, screaming, all interspersed with random geometric shapes. The accompanying sound was a low, droning hum that grew louder with each image. Suddenly, the screen went black, and a message appeared. "Congratulations, you've been chosen." Jacob's computer froze, and his speakers emitted a sharp, high-pitched sound. Then everything shut off. Jacob sat in the dark, his heart pounding. It took several minutes for his computer to reboot, and when it did, everything seemed normal. He convinced himself it was just a weird prank site, albeit an unsettling one. But the real horror began the next day. Jacob woke up to find dozens of emails in his inbox, all from unfamiliar addresses. Each subject line contained a single phrase, "Are you smiling yet?" The messages themselves were blank. He tried deleting them, but more kept arriving. Even blocking the addresses didn't help. By the evening, his phone started receiving similar messages. Texts from unknown numbers filled his notifications, each one containing unsettling images of distorted faces, all grinning unnaturally wide. Jacob's unease grew into outright fear when his social media accounts began posting by themselves. His Twitter and Instagram profiles, which he hadn't touched in months, were suddenly active. Posts appeared with captions like, "The smile spreads and join us." Friends started messaging him, asking if he was okay. He tried explaining that his accounts had been hacked, but the messages didn't stop. Desperate for answers, Jacob returned to the forum where he'd found the link. He created a new thread asking if anyone else had experienced what he was going through. Almost immediately, he received a private message from a user named Watcher77. The message read, "You shouldn't have clicked that link. It's not just a site, it's a gateway. The Smile Program isn't a myth. It's real, and once you're in, there's no way out. They've marked you now." Jacob replied, demanding more information. Watcher77 sent back a long response, detailing how the program was designed to harvest human emotions, using fear and joy as fuel for some unknown purpose. Those who interacted with the site became nodes, spreading its influence to others. The only way to escape was to go completely offline. No internet, no phone, nothing. Jacob laughed bitterly. In today's world, that was practically impossible. But as the days went on, his life became a nightmare. His devices seemed to act on their own, turning on and off, displaying those same grinning faces even when he wasn't connected to the internet. He began hearing whispers at night, faint but persistent. "Are you smiling yet?" The breaking point came when he started seeing them in real life. At first, it was just a fleeting glimpse, a figure standing at the edge of his vision, grinning unnaturally. But soon, they became more frequent. They appeared in mirrors, on the street, even in his own home, always smiling, always watching. Jacob couldn't take it anymore. He smashed his computer, threw his phone into a river, and disconnected every smart device in his apartment. For a brief moment, the silence was comforting, but then the knocking started. Every night, without fail, there would be a soft knock at his door. When he looked through the peephole, no one was there, but he knew better. He could feel them watching, waiting for him to give in. Weeks turned into months. Jacob became a recluse, afraid to leave his apartment, afraid to connect to the world. His friends and family thought he'd lost his mind. Maybe he had, but deep down, he knew the truth. Once you've seen the smiles, they never leave you. One night, the knocking stopped. For the first time in months, Jacob felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe they'd finally given up. He dared to look out his window for the first time in weeks. The street below was empty, bathed in the pale glow of a street lamp. But then he saw it. A figure standing directly under the light, staring up at his window. Its face was pale and featureless, except for the impossibly wide grin that stretched from ear to ear. It raised a hand and waved slowly, mockingly. Jacob backed away from the window, his heart pounding. The whispers returned, louder than ever. "Are you smiling yet?" they asked, over and over, until they drowned out every other thought. The next morning, Jacob's apartment was empty. His neighbors reported hearing strange noises during the night, laughter, whispers, and finally silence. The only trace of him was a single message left scrawled on the wall in black marker: "The smile spreads." To this day, the site remains active, waiting for its next visitor. Was it just a story? Or is there something real behind this mystery? Perhaps we will never know. But one thing is certain: horror never truly disappears. It lurks in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to emerge again. If you dare, stay with us for more terrifying stories. And don't forget to watch your surroundings, because something might be right behind you,